Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another video of Dude Talk Sports. Today, I'm going to be talking about the conference championships in the NFL. This past weekend, we had the LA Rams versus the New Orleans Saints, and the Patriots versus the Chiefs. The first game was the Rams and the Saints in New Orleans. 1 and 2 in their conference, top two teams. Both finished with the same record, but head to head, the Saints beat the Rams, and that's why they had the home field. Anyways, both of the games this past weekend were both great. The Rams and the Saints starts off, and I think in the first quarter the Saints go up 13-0. They had 2 field goals and a touchdown, and you're kind of like, all right, well, maybe the Saints are gonna run away with it, right? In the second quarter, the Rams start getting the ball. They start making stops on defense, and they actually were able to get 10 points in the second quarter. They got a field goal early in the quarter, and then they scored a touchdown right before halftime. So they were down 13-10 at halftime, making it obviously within reach, getting within reach of the Saints. Going into the third quarter, in the second half, the game started going back and forth. The Saints got they got a touchdown, and then the Rams answered back with a touchdown themselves. With about 5 minutes to go in the game, the Rams were actually able to tie the game. The game was tied at 20-20. And then the Saints, they got the ball back. They were driving, and this is where that non-call pass interference came in. The Saints had a pass down the sideline. The ball was coming in, and the Rams defender basically tackled the receiver, the intended receiver, and like way before the ball got there, and the refs didn't call it. It was just missed, totally missed. Didn't call it. So eventually the Saints had to settle for the field goal. If they would have called it, it was like 1:40 left in the game. If they would have called it and it was first down, the Saints could have basically just ran the clock down and kicked the field goal at the end of the game and won, right? So they didn't get the call. They had to settle for a field goal and giving the Rams the ball back with the chance of tying the game or winning the game. So the Rams, they get the ball. They're driving down the field with less than a minute left, and they got into field goal position with like 15 seconds left. I think it was a fourth down, and they didn't have timeouts left. That's why they elected to kick the field goal. The 48-yard field goal, and if you make it, we're tied and going to overtime, and if you miss it, it's the end of the game, the end of the season. Greg Zuerlein hits the 48-yard, to tie the game, and the game goes into overtime. The game goes into overtime. The Saints get the ball first, and they're driving. I think it was like the first or second play of the drive, and a defender from the Rams rushes in, puts pressure on Breeze, hits him. Breeze gets rid of the ball goes up in the air, and one of the guys from the Rams, he's actually on the ground. He falls and he's on the ground, and he catches the ball while he's on the ground, getting the interception. After that, they drive, they get some, I don't know, 30, about 40 yards, and they line up for a 57-yard field goal. Now, I'm guessing it was either they didn't want to punt it, right? They don't want to punt it and give the Saints the ball back. So I guess they're like, let's go for it now. Let's get, try to get the win. And if not, it's on us. So they line up for the field goal. Zuerlein hits the 57-yard field goal, man. And from looking at the replay, I think he could have hit at least, for sure, 60, maybe even 65. But he hit it. They won the game. And they're going to the Super Bowl. But, a lot of people, especially on social media, you saw that they were Saints fans, obviously pissed off about it. But, a lot of, I guess you could say, like analysts from ESPN and other networks talking about that call. Like, how can you miss that, And what sucks is that the refs, the next day or afterwards, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, we missed that call, we apologize or whatever. But, that's it. An apology does nothing. The game already finished. It doesn't change the outcome. If anything, the rule of reviewing pass interference would change next year, which, I guess it's good, but, it still sucks for the Saints right now because they're out and that's it. Now you have to wait another season to see if maybe you could go to the Super Bowl, maybe see if you could go get into the playoffs at least. So that's what sucks, and it always happens like this with major plays. Obviously the refs apologize, and then the rule change comes the next year or something like that, But obviously, like, somebody has to get screwed first before they make a change like that. But so you have the Rams from the NFC, and they're gonna go to the Super Bowl. The next game, you had the Chiefs and the Patriots. This one was another great game, man. Both of these games ended up being really good, which it's good, That's what you want to see with these conference championships or any playoff games. But so the Patriots got the ball first. They were playing in Kansas City. Patriots got the ball first, and this was, man, the first drive was like a textbook drive. It was like an 8-minute drive, opening drive, and to top it off, they got a touchdown out of it. It wasn't just a field goal. They got the touchdown. Basically, the first half was all Patriots. They were up 14-0 at half, and I can't remember the exact stats, but I know the Chiefs, they had really, I don't know, they didn't have that many yards at half, like really, really low amount of yards. But there was a play in the first half where the Patriots were inside the 5-yard line. I think it was a third down or second down, whatever it was, and they were inside the 5-yard line. You're thinking, okay, here comes either a touchdown or at least a field goal. Well, Brady decided to pass. pass got intercepted in the end zone, for a touchback. But that was something that I was looking at. They're up 14-0 at halftime, but it could have been at least 17, if not 21-0. And they dominated the first half. They go into the second half, and right away, I think 2-3 plays or something, and the Chiefs scored a touchdown. And then, like, for the rest of the quarter, it was just kind of not much going on, just back and forth. Defense making stops. And late in the quarter, the Patriots were able to get a field goal, and they were up by 10 points again, 17-10. They go into the fourth quarter. The Chiefs scored a touchdown to make it 14-17, like early in the quarter, and you're like, oh, here we go. Here goes they're gonna take over, and that's it. They got another touchdown about halfway through the quarter, and they were up actually 21-17. And then after that, man, the last like 5 minutes of the game lasted forever, because there was a lot of things going on, challenges and penalties and reviews and everything that happened in the last few minutes of the quarter. One of the main ones was on a punt that the Chiefs had, and when you saw it live, it looked like Julian Edelman touched the ball, right? So what happened was, it looked like Edelman touched the ball. Guy from the Chiefs got the ball and ran it for a touchdown. Well, they challenged it, and it was overturned that he didn't touch it, which he didn't. It was very, very close. I'm actually surprised they did overturn it, because their initial call was that he did touch it. Anyways, even if he had touched the ball, I think the ball would have been placed at, where the Chiefs player touched it. Even if it was a turnover, they couldn't run it back for a touchdown. But yeah, so that happens. It takes a while. Patriots ball, and then like the first or second play after the challenge, Brady throws a pass. I think it gets tipped. I think he threw it behind Edelman or something. It gets tipped. Chiefs still, they get the interception, and I think they were able to score. Able to score with like 2 minutes to go or something like that, right before the 2-minute warning. So whenever they scored, it was 28-24 Chiefs. Patriots get the ball back, and here you go, Tom Brady. And this is where you had another call. It wasn't a challenge. Well, there was a challenge and a penalty call on this drive, where I can't remember which one was first, but there was a play where Patriots snap it. And I can't remember if this one was also tipped, but it was intercepted by the Chiefs, and down. It was, I think less than a minute left. That would have been it. That would have been the game. But then there was a flag, and one of the Chiefs players was offside. Not like he was trying to jump the snap and get an early jump on it. No, he was just sitting there, but he was offsides the whole time. They snap it, he's offsides. I can't remember if it gave him the first down, but either way, they got another play. And then you had this catch by Chris Hogan, who got it. He extended his arm with one arm. He, got his hand on it, pulled it in. They reviewed that. It was a catch. They keep driving, and they ended up scoring with like 40 seconds left. All right. Then you go back to the Chiefs. They make a few. I think there was at least one flag on this last drive. They're able to get close enough for a field goal. It was like a 40-yard field goal. They tie it to go into overtime. And then you go into overtime. You got the the coin toss, and the Patriots get the ball. And again, the Patriots take it like on a 5-minute drive, man. I think this one too. A few plays, they drive, and eventually they get inside the 5. I think inside the 5, they run it, they score a touchdown, and that's the game, right? Because now overtime, if it's the first possession, it ends with, if it's the first team to get the ball, if they score a touchdown, the game's over. So there you go. It's the Patriots against the Rams in the Super Bowl in Atlanta. 2 weeks. See how that goes. But I seen a lot of people complaining about the overtime rules, right? But they're complaining about the Chiefs and the Patriots, after the Chiefs and the Patriots, right? You're like, oh, well, that's bullshit. The other team should get a chance, to get the ball and all that. And yeah, I mean, it's understandable. It used to be worse. It used to be, if you kicked the field goal, even if it was the first possession, that was the end of the game. So now they change it to this. It is a little bit harder, right? And people are complaining about this. They said they want both teams to get the ball. So who knows? Maybe they'll change it for next year. But, like, this was a perfect example this weekend because you had both games going to overtime. The first game, the first team that had the ball, they turned it over. The defense made a play on defense. They got the ball back, and they were able to take care of business. The second game, the defense, they couldn't make a stop. And yeah, it sucks because it is a coin toss. But, that's a good example of one team getting it done on defense and the other team not. I mean, yeah, it is Brady and the Patriots, but come on, it's your chance to go to the Super Bowl. Play your hearts out, try to make that one stop. At least, stop them from scoring a touchdown, and they couldn't do it. And you hear the fans talking about it, right? But the players, you don't really hear the players talking about it, right? But I mean, at the end, I don't know. I guess it would be better if both teams got it, just to make it fair, and hopefully everybody shuts up after that. Just because, I don't know, I've seen some people, they want the college overtime rule, which I think it's just stupid because you could have games with final scores of 70 to 73 or something like that, with each quarterback having 8 or 9 touchdowns. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I don't like that. And if you do have that, then I don't know. I don't think you should count those kind of stats. If it's just, get the ball at the 25 and scoring touchdowns back and forth, just because, I don't know, it would take away from at least from the NFL, stats records, But yeah, so it's gonna be the Patriots and the Rams in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks in Atlanta. See what happens. I think the Patriots are favorited right now. But the Rams they're very balanced in their offense and defense. So we'll see what happens with that. But again, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe, and stay tuned for upcoming videos. Thank you.